Is this the wildest weather flip in history? Weather Update American Cities number 128. It is Saturday, February 7th, 2026, the 38th day of the year, and boy do we have a massive amount of ground to cover today. We are currently witnessing a total atmospheric tug-of-war across the United States. On one side, a lethal Arctic blast is strangling the eastern coast with some of the most brutal temperatures we have seen in quite a while. Meanwhile, folks in the plains are seeing temperatures skyrocket 40 degrees above the usual average. It is a wild, dramatic pattern flip. You might have noticed me taking a bite of a grape right as we started, and no, I'm not just having a mid-video snack. We have to address something serious involving the digital world. There's a sneaky AI deepfake of me circulating on the internet right now, specifically over on video platforms. A surprising number of people are actually falling for it. If you look at those comment sections, it is clear that people think it is really me talking, but it is actually a computer-generated clone. This fake version of me is using my face and my voice, but it is slapping together some absolutely terrible weather maps while spouting total nonsense. It is honestly a bit hurtful to see people believe it because those maps are just awful. The misinformation being spread is dangerous, and it is clear that this AI problem is not going away anytime soon. It is likely going to get even worse. While we report these channels and get them taken down, new ones just pop up like weeds in a garden. So we have come up with a creative way to fight back against these digital clones. We are officially implementing a brand new fruit-based verification system. Every single day before I sit down to film, a random fruit is selected, like an apple, a banana, a grape, or even a pickle. And yes, for the record, a pickle is technically a fruit. At the very start of every legitimate video I post, I'm going to take a big bite of that specific fruit on camera so you know that it is really me. To make this even more foolproof, you can visit our dedicated verification webpage to check what the fruit of the day is supposed to be. If the fruit I am eating in the video matches the one listed on the site, then congratulations, you are watching the real deal. We even keep a backlog of previous days so you can verify older videos. We keep the identity of the fruit a secret until the moment the video goes live. It sounds a bit ridiculous, but in this AI world, we have to get creative. Is this a perfect, long-term solution to the deepfake problem? Probably not. The best thing you can do is continue to report those fake channels whenever you see them. But until the platforms find a better way to stop this, I am going to keep sitting here biting into various pieces of produce like a total weirdo just to prove I am a living, breathing human being. Hopefully, this starts a bigger conversation. Just remember to always check the channel name before you trust any weather update. Now that we have the fruit business settled, let's dive into this wild weather. We are looking at wind chills plunging all the way down to 30 degrees below zero in parts of New England. In places like Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia, we are seeing temperatures 10 to 20 degrees below zero. This is some of the most intense, bone-chilling air we have encountered so far this year. It is going to get even rougher tonight and into tomorrow morning, so please make sure you are staying safe. The surface temperatures are expected to dip well below zero, even without the wind factored in. But when you add those biting, strong winds coming through, we are talking about life-threatening conditions. Sunday could actually set some record-breaking low temperatures for the mid-Atlantic region. In many spots, the high temperatures will be running 20 to 30 degrees below what is considered normal for this time of year. It is a serious situation that requires everyone to be prepared. However, while the east is freezing, take a look at the middle of the country. Do you see all that bright yellow and orange on the map? That represents a massive resurgence of warmth. We are standing on the doorstep of a massive pattern flip. While the east coast is shivering in the purples and greens of below-average cold, the west and the plains are starting to see the reds and browns of a major warm-up. This shift is going to be incredibly dramatic for millions of people very soon. In fact, some places like Topeka, Kansas, are looking at temperatures that could be 42 degrees above their typical average over the next few days. It is honestly going to feel like a midwinter heat wave. We are forecasting cities like Des Moines to hit 70 degrees this Monday. Keep in mind, the average high there for this time of year is usually only 32 degrees. We are talking about nearly double the normal temperature, which is just absolutely wild to think about. This is a very rare winter setup, and we expect this warmth to hang around for a while. The latest data from the Climate Prediction Center shows A 6 to 10 day outlook where the vast majority of the lower 48 states are draped in that above normal category. The warmth stretches from Dallas and Houston all the way up to Minneapolis. It is a complete reversal of the freezing trend we have been stuck in, and it is going to lead to a very significant thaw across the heartland. But keep an eye on the West Coast. We're starting to see some below-average temperatures beginning to creep back in over there. I suspect this cooler air is eventually going to start pushing its way eastward. When that cold air meets the unseasonable warmth sitting in the middle of the country, that boundary is going to become a focal point for some very active weather. We are talking about the perfect recipe for a major storm cycle as we move deeper into the month of February. As we look toward the middle of the month, specifically around Valentine's Day, things are looking pretty spicy. We are seeing a strong signal for increased storm activity. There will likely be several chances for both heavy snow and potentially some severe weather events. It is important to stay ahead of these things because the transition from record warmth to active storming can be very quick. We want to make sure everyone is looking after their safety and staying weather aware. Let's look at the long-range weather patterns to see how this all plays out. That cold air in the northeast is going to be stubborn, clinging on through Sunday. But look at these red lines on the map. This is a massive ridge of high pressure building up in the west and moving into the central U.S. This warm air is going to climb over the Rockies and spill into the plains, the Midwest, and eventually the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. It is going to be what I call the Great Thaw of 2026. But every big warm-up in the winter usually comes with a price tag. All of that warm, unstable air is eventually going to clash with the cold air that naturally wants to sink back down from the north. This collision is what triggers rain and storms. We are already seeing a general chance for some isolated showers popping up from Dallas over to Nashville by next Wednesday. As we move forward in time, the frequency and the intensity of these rain chances are only going to increase. The thing that has my full attention right now is a massive storm signal arriving right around Valentine's Day. On the early morning of February 14th, we are seeing a big-time low-pressure system sweeping over the Rockies. It looks like it will strengthen over the plains, potentially creating a severe weather threat on its southern side while dumping heavy snow on the northern side. This is a classic late winter battle of the seasons that we really need to keep a very close eye on. Now, I have to be honest with you. When we are looking at a forecast that is more than 170 hours into the future, the specific details can be a bit fuzzy. Anything that far out can change significantly, so we have to treat it as a general signal rather than a certainty. But the overall pattern is what really matters here. We are seeing a consistent trend that suggests a very active and potentially turbulent end to the month, so do not let your guard down just yet. Over on the West Coast, the weather is about to get very busy again. We are tracking more atmospheric rivers that could start slamming into the coast right around the middle of the month. This means heavy rain for the valleys and massive snow totals for the higher mountain elevations. These systems will then travel over the Rockies and interact with the warm air in the center of the country, continuing that cycle of storm development that could impact millions of people downstream. We are likely going to see several rounds of severe weather, heavy rain, and even some flash flooding concerns over the next few weeks. Some of the long-range models are even trying to suggest that we might lock back into a deep cold pattern toward the very end of February. It is hard to say for sure exactly how that will play out this far in advance. But the transition from this upcoming warm spell back into an active storm pattern is almost certainly going to happen very soon. If you are a fan of the warmer weather, you should definitely enjoy it while it lasts. The 8 to 14-day outlook still shows above average temperatures for most of the country east of the Rockies. Even places like Denver and Santa Fe will stay relatively mild. As for the Super Bowl tomorrow, the weather looks pretty quiet. We are expecting a high near 67 degrees with just a tiny chance of a shower. Enjoy the game, stay safe, and I will see you in the next update.